Hey guys, I wanted to jump on here and just share something with you all. As you can see, I have little man sleeping in the back. That is my nephew Stetson, and I get to watch him over the next few days. So I'm super excited about that. But having a little toddler around now, I forgot how freaking time consuming it is and how much you don't really have a lot of time for yourself. With that said, I did want to dive deeper into one of the things that I talked about in my previous video from a few days ago. And after having conversations with several women about how they related to the video, one of the biggest things was that fear of food and why we have it. So I did want to dig deeper into that today. Um, as I said in the last video, we're raised in a terrible, terrible diet culture that creates this fear of food and eating and afraid of eating the wrong things as women. And I'm sure men experience the same thing. And if you're someone that thinks that only the way to lose weight is to eat less, maybe limit the foods that you would allow yourself to eat typically, but you don't while you're dieting, or just do extra cardio in order to lose weight. You're kind of stuck in this fear of food mindset. So you're afraid to eat certain foods because you think you're going to instantly gain weight. And when it comes to our fears usually because of the unknown. And the only way to stop this fear of food mindset is to educate yourself and kind of figure out where this fear of food came from. And a lot of it starts from when we're children, right? So whether it's our mom and dad that have negative body image, they talk down about their bodies. You heard them talk about food and, oh, I can't eat that, I'm going to get fat, or I really need to go on a diet. Like, I keep eating all this junk. And so it's ingrained in us to just think that these foods are just automatically bad, when in reality, that's really not the case. And I'll kind of get to that in a second. But whether it's from your parents or influences on TV, what you're taught in school, unfortunately, our education system, I feel, is just ancient. And there's so much new education that could be taught to our students, and the psychology behind it in a very healthier way than what it is now. And I've actually done a live on that before about the BMI in school and how I don't think that should be taught, or at least not taught and then just stopped there. But side tangent again. And the other thing that I know, when we're in middle school, high school, and even as adults, our friends really influence us. And if our friends are doing these diets and losing weight, whether it's healthy or unhealthy, we automatically are like, oh, maybe that'll work for me. And I want to tell a story real quick. When I think we were in middle school. Haley, if you watch this, you're going to get a kick out of it, 'cause I'm sure you remember. We were like in great shape. Like, we were kids, we did sports, like we did not have any reason to be dieting other than we felt the pressure of just other kids around us, our parents, our environment, that we had to, excuse me, like look a certain way. So we made a pact that for a week, we were only going to eat cans of tuna fish. And I'm not even kidding you. I think I made it like half a day. Like, I think I brought a can of tuna fish to school or something. And I got home, I ate my other can of tuna fish. And then I was like, can't do this. And if you think about it, that's almost the exact same thing that happens as adults, right? Like, we're like, oh, if I just do this, even though it's going to suck, I'm going to lose weight. And what happens is we always end up reverting back to old habits because it's not sustainable. And if you take the time to kind of think back on all these different diets and trends that you've done, it's probably very, very similar, whether it's different shakes that they're promoting, or maybe a super, super strict meal plan that limits you to only a certain number of different foods. You usually fall back to these old habits that you have because it's just not sustainable, it's not enjoyable, and it's not real life at all. So with that said, it creates this fear of food mindset, and we just need to educate ourselves better on what is the food that's available to us? What is it made of? We are pretty big on calories. I know everyone has heard of calories, but calories are really created based on the macro buildup of each food. So whether it's a protein, carb, or fat, all of those different types of fuel create your calorie content. So in a sense, like, you are already eating macros. It's just a matter of learning what the foods that you're putting into your body so you can better learn what it needs.